The illusion of truth. How dangerous minds control. Have you ever noticed how some people make you feel seen, yet somehow you always end up doubting yourself afterward? That's not connection, that's illusion. And illusion is the favorite weapon of dangerous personalities. They don't control you with chains. They control you with mirrors. They reflect what you crave, validation, understanding, belonging, and feed it back to you until you're addicted to their approval. That's not love. That's psychological control dressed as care. In Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius warned that everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. But most of us never test that idea. We take appearances as truth. And that's where illusion thrives. A dangerous personality builds their power on perception. They manipulate emotions to shape how you see reality. They'll say things that make you question your worth, then offer comfort so you depend on them for peace. They'll create storms and sell you shelter. It's a cruel genius. Addictive, invisible, almost spiritual in its precision. This is what the Stoics meant by mastering impressions. Epictetus said, "It's not events that disturb us, but the view we take of them." But dangerous minds distort that view, turning your perception into their playground. And once they occupy your thoughts, they don't need chains or threats. You willingly hand them your freedom, because the illusion feels safer than the truth. Philosophers like Plato described this centuries ago in the allegory of the cave. People chained in darkness mistake shadows for reality. When one man breaks free, the light hurts his eyes. He wants to go back. That's what illusion does. It hurts to leave, even when you see the manipulation. A part of you still misses the warmth of those lies. That's the addiction of the mind, the emotional gravity that keeps you orbiting your own pain. It's not their power that holds you, it's your attachment to how they once made you feel. But Stoicism teaches something radical. You can step outside the illusion. You can reclaim your power, not by fighting them, but by mastering yourself. The moment you stop reacting, the illusion fades, the mirror breaks, and what's left is truth, uncomfortable, raw, but liberating. So the next time someone's charm feels intoxicating, pause. Ask yourself, is this clarity or illusion? Because what's beautiful can also blind you. And those who crave control will always offer light, just bright enough to keep you from seeing the truth. The addictive nature of control. Control rarely begins with force. It begins with fascination. The dangerous personality doesn't demand your loyalty, they earn it, not through honesty, but through emotional precision. They study what moves you, your fears, your insecurities, your dreams. Then they feed them back to you in just the right tone, at just the right moment. Like a drug, it feels powerful, until it's all you can think about. That's how addiction begins. Not with pleasure, but with dependence on relief. And in the world of manipulation, relief is the currency of control. Epictetus once said, when someone is properly grounded in life, they shouldn't have to look outside themselves for approval. But that's the illusion toxic people create, making you believe that peace lives outside your own mind. They give affection, then take it away. They praise, then withdraw. It's the perfect psychological loop. Confusion breeds attachment. You start chasing their validation as if it were oxygen. In Stoicism, this is called enslavement to externals. When your emotional state depends on someone else's actions, you've handed over your inner kingdom. And the manipulator knows it. They'll remind you, subtly, that you need them to feel whole. Soon, your thoughts orbit them like a moon to a planet, losing your own gravity. The ancient philosophers understood this pattern long before psychology named it. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is a slave to his passions." But passion doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it wears a gentle smile, promising understanding while quietly tightening the leash. The addiction to control works both ways. The manipulator feeds on the illusion of power, and the victim feeds on the illusion of connection. It's a toxic harmony where both lose their humanity. One becomes a puppet master, the other a puppet who believes they're dancing freely. But Stoicism cuts through the illusion with surgical precision. It reminds us that control is internal. No one can command your thoughts, your reactions, or your peace unless you consent. Freedom isn't granted, it's claimed through awareness. When you stop reacting, when you choose calm over chaos, you reclaim that sacred space inside you, the space the manipulator cannot reach. This is why Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The first step is to recognize the addiction, to see how illusion feeds your craving for certainty. The second step is harder, to sit in the silence that follows detachment. It will feel empty at first, but that emptiness is not loss, it's recovery. It's the space where your real self begins to breathe again, because control loses its magic the moment you stop needing it, and those who live by illusion cannot survive in the presence of truth. The mask of empathy. How dangerous people use emotion as a weapon. They don't always shout. They don't always threaten. Sometimes they simply understand you a little too well. The most dangerous personalities don't reveal their darkness immediately. They hide it beneath a mask of empathy, a gentle tone, a caring glance, a perfectly timed, "I know how you feel." It disarms you. It feels safe. And that's exactly what makes it so dangerous, because genuine empathy heals, but false empathy binds. It's not about connection, it's about control. It's an emotional illusion carefully crafted to make you trust faster, open deeper, and question less. As Seneca warned, "He who flatters you is your enemy, even if he seems your friend." And that's how emotional predators operate. They mirror your pain, not to comfort you, but to map your weaknesses. They listen not out of compassion, but out of calculation. They become the person you wish existed until you can't imagine life without them. Psychology calls this mirroring, the act of reflecting someone's feelings to gain rapport. But in the wrong hands, it becomes manipulation disguised as empathy. It's like poison hidden in honey, sweet, soothing, and deadly over time. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you allow a manipulator to color your emotions, their illusion becomes your reality. You start to see through their lens, believing their version of the truth, even when it hurts you. And that's the paradox. The person who seems to understand you most may be the one pulling your strings. They say things like, "I'm only doing this because I care. No one understands you like I do. I just want what's best for you." But underneath the words lies a hidden transaction. Your vulnerability in exchange for their control. The more they empathize, the more you depend on them for emotional validation. And once that dependency forms, they no longer need to persuade you. You'll justify their behavior yourself. Epictetus would call this the corruption of impressions, when emotion overrides reason. You see kindness and assume goodness. You feel seen and assume safety. But Stoicism reminds us, appearances are nothing. Examine them. A dangerous personality counts on you to skip that examination. So how do you protect yourself? By learning to pause between emotion and judgment. That pause, that breath, is where freedom begins. When you feel deeply moved by someone's empathy, ask yourself quietly, is this compassion or control disguised as it? Because real empathy doesn't demand your loyalty. It doesn't take your strength. It restores it. And those who truly care for you don't need to wear a mask to do it. The Stoics understood that emotions are tools, not masters. And those who weaponize emotion only win when you forget that truth. Breaking the addiction, how the Stoic mind reclaims freedom, you've seen it by now. The web of illusion, the addictive pull of validation, the mask of empathy, the false morality, all designed to bind your mind. But here's the truth the Stoics have always known. No one can control your inner fortress unless you hand it over. The first step is awareness. Notice the patterns. Recognize the emotional hooks. Ask yourself, where am I reacting and where am I observing? This is the Stoic principle of mastering impressions. You cannot stop manipulation from existing, but you can control how it affects you. The second step is detachment. Epictetus taught, some things are up to us and some things are not. We control our own mind, nothing else. Dangerous personalities thrive on your reactions, your guilt, your anxiety, your doubt. Remove the reaction. Step outside the cycle, breathe, observe. Let the storm rage without losing your balance. The addiction weakens when it no longer elicits a response. The third step is reclaiming your emotional autonomy. Every manipulator wants to keep you orbiting them, addicted to the illusion of connection or approval. But your inner power is independent of their influence. You don't need permission to feel peace. You don't need validation to trust yourself. When you stop chasing the illusion, the spell dissolves. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Freedom isn't about defeating them. It's about refusing to hand them your control. It's about choosing clarity over confusion, truth over charm, and reason over emotional addiction. The fourth step is observation without judgment. Watch carefully, but don't internalize their drama. Notice the manipulator's tactics, but don't make them your problem. The Stoic mind sees the game but doesn't play it. It pierces the mask without anger, without defensiveness. Your calm becomes a mirror that reflects reality, exposing their illusion for what it truly is. Finally, cultivate inner consistency. Consistency in thought, action, and boundaries becomes your shield. A dangerous personality cannot penetrate a mind grounded in Stoic principles. They cannot manipulate what does not bend. And your freedom, your clarity becomes contagious. Others see your composure, and it inspires their own strength. Remember, breaking the addiction is not an act of confrontation. It's an act of liberation. You reclaim your time, your focus, your peace, and your emotional sovereignty. The illusions that once held power over you are powerless when you no longer feed them. So today, take this Stoic truth with you. You are the observer, not the pawn. You are the calm within the storm. You are the master of your mind. Stand firm, breathe deeply, and step into freedom.